movie begins with a young woman pacing anxiously inside a dimly lit room, her hands trembling as she makes a desperate phone call for help. She pleads for someone to save her because someone is trying to kill her. Suddenly, the door is forcefully pushed open, and the screen fades to black. We are taken back 9 months before this terrifying moment. Chloe, a young woman, is in a club room when her best friend, Alexis, walks in and compliments her appearance. Shortly after, Dalton, Alexis' fiancé, enters and acknowledges Chloe's presence. The three of them later join the party and dance the night away. The following morning, Chloe is asleep when her mother wakes her up, urging her not to be late. Chloe protests, saying she doesn't want a job that requires her to work on weekends and early mornings. Her mother sits beside her and brings up Chloe's struggles since her father passed away 2 years ago. Chloe, irritated, cuts her off, reminding her that her father is gone. Her mother insists that if Chloe doesn't want to attend church, she should consider finding her own place to live. Feeling emotional, Chloe stares at an old picture of herself with her father, tears welling in her eyes. Chloe and her mother attend church, where a worship singer is performing. Chloe hesitates at the back while her mother moves forward. After the singing, Pastor Kendrick introduces a new youth minister, Caleb Summers. Caleb steps up and delivers a passionate sermon about how Jesus and his followers spread the gospel without media or technology, because they had a purpose. He urges the congregation to hold on to the church's values while maintaining a sense of purpose in their lives. Chloe is visibly moved by his words. After the sermon, Caleb approaches Chloe and asks if it's her first time attending. She confirms and he introduces himself. Caleb mentions that he runs the church's youth ministry and invites Chloe to join as a children's mentor. Then he tells her to meet him on Wednesday at 6 p.m. and leaves as Chloe considers the offer. That night, Chloe lies in bed, scrolling through pictures of Caleb on her phone and smiling. The next morning, she decides to attend the youth ministry as promised. When she arrives, she finds Caleb teaching children. He is pleasantly surprised to see her and asks if she has made up her mind. Chloe confirms her decision to join. As they teach the kids together, they exchange warm glances, and a connection begins to form. Later, Chloe meets a woman named Anna while sorting books. Anna mentions that she loves a particular book, and Chloe responds that her father used to read it to her. They introduce themselves and chat briefly before Anna leaves. Shortly after, Caleb approaches Chloe and jokingly asks, "Did you meet my wife?" Chloe is stunned. She looks in Anna's direction and asks, "Your wife?" Caleb nods, explaining that he and Anna have been married for a long time. He then shares that he also runs an organization called Sacred Hands, which helps children and families, and he wants to hire Chloe. Excited, she agrees to consider the offer. The next morning, Chloe arrives at Sacred Hands and meets a pregnant woman named Margot, who introduces herself as Caleb's colleague. Margot gives Chloe a tour and assigns her an office. She hands Chloe a book to help her understand the organization and encourages her to ask questions whenever she needs help. Later at home, Chloe's mother asks about her first day at work. Chloe complains that the constant phone calls made it boring. Her mother then gives her a small box containing a pendant and tells Chloe that she is proud of her. They share a warm embrace. One afternoon, Chloe and Caleb accidentally bump into each other while carrying boxes. Chloe compliments Caleb's work, saying that most men would rather play video games than help people. Caleb reveals that he used to be one of those men but changed because people needed him. When Chloe asks what his wife thinks about his work, Caleb vaguely responds that sometimes one must follow their heart. He touches Chloe's shoulder before walking away, leaving her in deep thought. During a wedding dress fitting with Alexis, Chloe mentions that she's never met anyone like Caleb. Dalton playfully asks if she's in love with him, but she insists she only admires his work. When she confirms that Caleb is married, Alexis and Dalton are shocked. That evening, Chloe finds Caleb looking through her drawings. He praises her talent and asks for her secret, but she playfully replies that there is none. Caleb then invites Chloe to his office later, and she agrees. That night, Chloe visits Caleb's office. He thanks her for her contributions, mentioning that the funds she raised helped purchase 20 beds and food for families in need. Chloe asks if there's anything else she should know, but Caleb simply quotes scripture, "Treat your body as a temple." Chloe says her body needs strength, and Caleb responds by complimenting her beauty. He touches her gently, and they share a passionate kiss. They end up making love in his office. One evening, Chloe sees Caleb speaking to a woman at church. Later, she follows him into a room and confronts him about ignoring her. Caleb dismisses her concerns, saying he doesn't want to draw too much attention. Chloe accuses him of sleeping with her while carrying other women, but Caleb cryptically responds that he was sent by God to spread love. When she asks if his wife knows about their affair, Caleb shockingly admits that Anna does, and that it is part of God's plan. They make love again in the same room. The next morning, Caleb texts Chloe a picture of them together. Later, he gives her some forms for the Sacred Hands retreat, urging her to sign them. Chloe hesitates, as she has an engagement party to attend, but Caleb guilt trips her, asking if the party is more important than God's work. At the retreat, Chloe confronts Caleb about their relationship. She admits she doesn't know where she stands with him. Caleb holds her hand and reassures her that what they have is special. That night, Chloe wakes up to get a drink but hears strange noises. She follows the sound and, through a slightly open door, sees Caleb having his passionate moment with Margot. Horrified, she quickly leaves. The next day, Chloe confronts Caleb, who shockingly reveals that Margot is also his wife and that Maisie is their daughter too. Later, he tells Chloe that he is in a polygamous marriage with both Anna and Margot. Stunned, Chloe protests that polygamy is illegal, but Caleb counters by citing biblical figures like Jacob, David, Solomon, and Abraham, who had multiple wives. When Chloe turns to Anna for support, Anna calmly states that she has devoted herself to Caleb and God. Furious, Chloe storms out. As she leaves, Margot, carrying her daughter, stops her and asks if something is wrong. Chloe doesn't answer and walks away in shock, tears streaming down her face. She stands under a tree, overwhelmed with emotion. Chloe returning home to find her mother questioning why she skipped her friend's party. Chloe explains she had work to do, emphasizing that she's now focused on important matters. Frustrated, she storms off, slamming the door behind her, hinting at underlying tensions in their relationship. Later, Chloe is seen in a church, seeking solace and guidance through prayer. She expresses her love for Caleb and asks for divine direction. As she prays, Caleb approaches and asks to speak with her privately. In a secluded room, Caleb tells Chloe that she is special and that the world is better with her in it. He believes God has a plan for them, and as a sign of his commitment, he proposes to Chloe, despite already having two wives, Anna and Margot. Caleb insists that their union is part of a divine mission to save the world. Chloe, smiling, agrees to join the family, captivated by Caleb's charismatic vision. That evening, Chloe visits Caleb's home, where Anna welcomes her warmly. During dinner, Caleb announces his intention to make Chloe part of the family as his wife. Anna and Margot accept Chloe with open arms, and a secret wedding follows, capturing a joyful family photo with Caleb, Anna, Margot, and Chloe. The ceremony is intimate, underscoring the unconventional nature of their union. As Chloe packs her belongings, her mother questions her decision to move in with Caleb. Chloe insists it's for work, not to distance herself from her mother, though it's clear there's more to her decision. Upon arriving at Caleb's house, Margot shows Chloe around, including a wardrobe of plain clothes Caleb prefers they wear at home, symbolizing the control he exerts over their lives. At wedding night, Chloe eagerly greets Caleb as he arrives home, but he reminds her of his other wives and asks her to be discreet. This moment highlights the complex dynamics and emotional challenges Chloe faces in her new life. Later, Caleb visits Chloe in her room, asking if she desires him. When she affirms, he instructs her to undress and lie down, only to abruptly leave, leaving Chloe confused and frustrated, questioning her place in the household. The next morning, Chloe is tasked with setting the table, but Anna criticizes her efforts, suggesting she dress more appropriately. Chloe, feeling constrained and undervalued, leaves the house in anger. That evening, during dinner, Caleb questions Chloe's absence and attire, leading to a tense exchange where Anna escorts Chloe to her room to pray for her perceived sins, reinforcing the strict and oppressive environment. Chloe's struggles continue as she navigates the complex dynamics of the household.